I'm Dr. Natasha Iyer. Are you over 40 and fed up and frustrated with stubborn fat? Have you tried every diet, every type of exercise, and still get no results? I used to be there. I was a stubborn size 14, and no amount of dieting or exercising, calorie counting, or anything gave me results. On top of being fat, I was fatigued. I struggled to get up in the mornings. I had struggles making it through the day without caffeine in the form of Pepsi and coffee. I was foggy. My brain just didn't feel like it worked right. And a whole host of other issues that couldn't be explained because my tests were all normal. I could, as a doctor, swear it was my thyroid. My hair was falling out in clumps. My skin was dry. I was cold. I was tired. I had everything. But my tests were all normal. So if you're in that boat, I have answers for you. And here is where you find lasting results with better metabolism and a metabolic reset program. Why am I qualified to speak to you about this? I study nutritional and metabolic medicine. For the last 12 years, I've been working with patients, figuring out why some people get results from some things and others don't. What is it that gets each person a result they can count on? Prior to that, I worked with thousands of patients in a health and diet program. They got the weight off really quickly, but struggled to keep it off. And many of them have found me over the years, only to have worse metabolism than they would have had by simply aging. So that's one key important component to remember, that your basal metabolic rate slows down as you age. It changes how you respond to the same things that you used to respond to before. And then there's another very critical paradigm I want you to consider. First of all, you are a unique biochemical and genetic individual. Everything about you is different. So what works for you is going to be different than what works for someone else. Regardless of whether it's a fat-burning pill, the latest diet, the latest exercise class, some new style of eating, whether it's paleo or low carb or low fat or high fat or whatever it is that's going on out there, there's a combination of things that's going to work for you, but it's different from what's going to work for someone else. And here's why. Consider yourself as a compartmental individual. In that, one component of you is your nutritional, biochemical, hormonal aspect of your total health and results. Nutrients shape your biochemistry. Your biochemistry is the space in your body, that fluid environment inside your cells and around your cells, from which you make hormones and in which you use them. So if your biochemistry is not optimal, you are not going to have optimal hormone balancing. Now, hormones are your chemistry of life. They give you energy. They help you burn fat. They make you store fat. Hormones help you regulate your blood sugar, your temperature, your brain, your mood, your brain fog, clarity of thought, anxiety, depression, cravings. All of these are regulated by hormones in balance or out of balance. So with hormones being that important, everyone thinks I should just go get hormones. Now notice I said nutritional, biochemical, and hormonal. Hormones are just a teeny part of that side of you. And I said that you have three main components to your health and results. The second component is your physical body. And you know how to take care of that pretty much. You can rest it, you can take care of it, you can exercise it, move it, feed it, right? And in medicine, we're pretty good at taking care of. the physical body. I've been in medicine over 21 years now. And if it's broken, we can fix it. If you've got pain, we'll medicate it. We're all about taking care of those physical symptoms, never really digging deep and finding the root cause. And that's what functional medicine is all about. That's what I study in nutritional and metabolic medicine. How do I get to that root cause of what's going on, and how do we fix it? And then there's the mental, emotional, spiritual wellness that gets you your unique results. Now, not all of us are unhappy. Not all of us have had trauma, but your whole approach to your mental, spiritual, and emotional wellness is going to dictate your results. Whether it's in health, whether it's in your life, whether it's in your career, it affects everything. So how could you just do a diet and expect to get a result? How could you just take hormones and expect to get a result when there's so many intertwined, interconnected aspects of your health and your wellness and the results you're going to get? So consider that before you start a diet, we need to work through all of these little pieces of your big puzzle and find for you what's going to work and give you lasting results. So let's just go back to hormones. In the past, I'd have a lot of young men come to me wanting prescriptions for testosterone and growth hormone because those are the in things to build muscle and burn fat. Now, is it natural to overdose and take too much of a hormone that your body naturally makes? I'm all about natural and balance. I don't do that, and I don't recommend you try it either. Sounds like a good idea for a quick fix, and if you're completely fed up and frustrated at nothing ever working, I can see why you would want a quick fix. But how's that going to last in the long term? How is that going to impact you in the long term? HCG. Oh, sure, run out and do the HCG diet. Eat under 500 calories a day. Take these magic shots and lose weight. And how's that working for everyone? For lasting results? Not very well. I don't say that there's no place in a weight loss program for HCG. No, there's some good evidence that it can work, but for a very specific period of time under very specific controlled circumstances and medical supervision, I might recommend it, but that would be a last resort. People have gotten autoimmune disease from misusing HCG. I have seen many people with completely ruined metabolisms from injections and ultra low calorie, low fat diets. And they struggle now. And no diet, nothing is giving them results. So please don't jump on that wagon. It might feel like there's nothing else you can do, but there is. It's understanding the three sides of your total metabolic wellness. Now, hormones like cortisol, you may have heard, affect fat. Now, cortisol is your stress coping hormone. It's made by your adrenal glands. When you're under high stress, you're going to make a lot of cortisol, and people have often talked about how cortisol is the belly fat hormone. Okay, cortisol by itself is not going to do all of that. It's not going to be the only cause of your belly fat. So managing your stress could be a start, and it's absolutely vital as part of your metabolic reset process. However, don't just look at cortisol. Cortisol is part of a metabolic triad of hormones: cortisol, insulin, thyroid. In the old days, when caveman was stressed, he made a lot of cortisol. He was running from a tiger. At this point, he was mobilizing all his energy to escaping from this threat. Now, when you're lying at night in your bed, you're not running from a tiger. It might feel like it to your body when you're stressing out about, paying your mortgage and the kids aren't doing what they're supposed to do, or, we all have stresses and challenges. But what cortisol does is it causes an elevation of your blood sugar levels and a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as your fat storing hormone. Insulin takes sugar and stores it as fat, a fat fertilizing hormone. So you can see why cortisol and insulin are tied together. At the same time, when in caveman's day, he was stressed because it was snowing outside and he knew that he wouldn't have a good supply of food, his level of stress went up and his metabolism slowed down. So under stress, you start to slow down your metabolism. So when we're looking at rebalancing hormones, and women will often say, oh, I'm in the menopause, I'm approaching the menopause, and that's why I'm gaining weight. It's because that shift in hormones is also impacted by your metabolic triad and vice versa. It's quite complex. And that's why, as a specialist in nutritional and metabolic medicine, I look at all of your hormones and how they interact with each other. For example, there's an interaction between thyroid and estrogen. So treating one without looking at the other and the interactions between the two and the effect of treating one and not treating the other is going to affect your results. So that's your hormones. Then there's your biochemistry. Remember I said your biochemistry is that critical environment inside your cells and around your cells from which you make hormones and in which you use them. I can give you all the thyroid hormone in the world. I can help lower your cortisol and your insulin. And how is that going to impact your results if you don't have an optimized biochemistry? And it's your biochemistry that dictates the successful rebalancing of hormones. And I'm going to teach you through this process how to do it all safely. What affects your biochemistry? Everything. Everything from the food you eat. You have herbicides and pesticides and colorants and preservatives and waxes, and I don't even know what they're adding into food. Many things on the labels I've never seen or heard of before. So rule number one is eat food the way God made it. Know your dirty dozen. Those are the 12 most toxic fruit and vegetables on the planet today. That doesn't mean everything else is not toxic. It means these have the highest concentrations of herbicides and chemicals sprayed on them. Then there's your clean 15, which you can eat freely, and everything in between, eat as organic as you can. Now, if you cannot afford organic food, eat real whole food the way God or Mother Nature made it still. Don't avoid it because it's sprayed. There's still nutritional benefit and value, and there's things I will teach you on how to maximize your biochemistry and undo some of these results. Now think about to get results from the biochemistry being cleaned out, and I'll teach you that. So that's food. What about hair care, body care, makeup, lotions and potions you put on yourself? Your skin is the largest organ in your body. You're going to apply things and it's going to absorb into your body. Make sure they're good enough you can eat. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. If you can't eat it, don't brush your teeth with it. Don't gargle your mouth with it. Make sense? All of this is getting into your biochemistry and affecting your hormone balancing. What about the environment, the air inside your home and outside your home? What about medications and drugs that you're taking? What about habits and hobbies? Do you work with leather? Do you solder? Do you renovate? Do you paint? Are you being exposed to toxic chemicals through your habits and hobbies? Think about your health habits. I have patients who take a ton of supplements, and when I read them, they're filled with additives and preservatives and colorings. And then we switch them to a very clean, natural product of the same kind, and they feel better because their biochemistry is not being toxified and burdened with additional substances. And the list of things you're exposed to goes on, from the flame retardant in your furniture and the clothing, the dyes on the clothing you wear, to your fabric softener and your laundry detergent. And so when we do this metabolic reset program, we start looking at cleaning up your biochemistry and reducing the exposure to everything that pollutes your biochemistry. And that's how we start. Coming up next are 3 things that are stopping you from burning fat. We'll talk soon. I'm Dr. Natasha Iyer.